Hello. Good evening, good afternoon, good morning. Today it's in the evening right now, and it's around, I believe, 8 p.m. and 15 minutes. And today is 22nd May 2026. I come on this camera. Today I was doing nothing, to be honest. I did not make any videos, but I was home. I was not doing much except sending emails, applying for different jobs, but I was home. And so I came here to share some of the news that has been happening in the news lately that is related to my background in economics. So as we all know, the current chair, the former chair, who's also like when I was a former, his name is the Powell, Jerome Powell. Today marks, actually yesterday marked his last day as a Federal Reserve Bank chair. And the new leader that's going to be taking over, his name is Kevin Walsh. Kevin Walsh will be taking over in this coming, starting today, moving forward. And he's been a former governor on a chair for the Federal Reserve, so he's used to these new policies, monetary policies, and all stuff like that. Just like Powell, also Kevin was appointed by Donald Trump, because Jerome was appointed by Donald Trump in his first term. Now he's being appointed by Trump again in his second term. Now, under these last days of Jerome Powell, there was scrutiny, there was accusations. Trump wanted to interfere with the Fed. He was trying to force the Fed to lower the interest rate to extremely lower, up to 2%, which is Jerome and his team argued that by lowering the interest rate, is going to cause a high inflation, which is true. So there was a debate, and also Jerome maintained his position by saying that the executive branch, not just executive, but even the legislature or the Supreme Court justice system should not interfere with the Fed. Federal Reserve Bank handles the markets, all our trade, all our investments, all our jobs, everything around the economy is tied to the Federal Reserve Bank. And not just the United States, but also all over the world, including countries in Africa, Asia, Europe, they all depend on the US Federal Reserve Bank's monetary policies. And the reason why it's so trusted is because it's independent. And when Trump tried to intervene, the dollar eventually started to lose the value, because once the government is intervening with these independent entities, people around the world, especially the investors, they start to lose the trust in the dollar, right? So yesterday he was sworn in, the new governor, the new Fed chair, who is Kevin Walsh. He was sworn in and will be taking over the office starting today. However, as Trump has been very critical of the Fed, today I believe I had a news from Bloomberg. I had him giving a speech. And one of his speech, this is Donald Trump, he said that he is going to allow the Fed to be independent without interference from the executive. I think this is coming from the pressure, and it also is coming from people, the investors, telling him, let the Fed do their own job. All right. Trump's actions, they have caused a massive inflation. For example, there was tariffs. The tariffs caused the prices to go up. There was also war in Iran, which has started to come up within the groceries, right? The best way to measure the CPI, the Consumer Price Index, is by looking at how much consumers can spend. When a price shock happens in a daily consumptions or discretionary consumptions, these are things like food, daily, these are daily things, food, right? When there's a disruption in something, one of those, let's say there is like an outbreak, right? Like last year, there was, like 2024, I believe, there was an egg shortages because there was an outbreak in the chicken raising farms, and this caused the eggs to raise in the prices. And because of this, the shortages in eggs literally like showcased how much people consume eggs, and the prices went up. People could not afford food. Just one shock. We also see in 2023, actually 2022, 2023, when Russia attacked Taiwan. I mean, Russia attacked Ukraine. We see a massive spike in bread, right? Many countries were struggling to feed themselves because of the Iranian bread. So the prices went up, right? Similarly, we see right now Trump passing the tariffs, which was totally okay. It can be negotiated, it can be switched around, right? But it was followed by massive raids on Iran. So they attacked Iran, and that created a massive war now, which has resulted into oil crisis. Now there's a shortage of oil crisis. The supply chain of oil, the supply chain of goods have caused even other things to become expensive. The groceries, the food, right? Now consumers are spending more money. For instance, when I was driving to North Carolina, I spent $75 to feed my car, to fill up my vehicle. That's a lot of money. That's a lot of money, you know. And I have never since 2025, which is just since 2023, even under the Democratic leaders, gas prices didn't go as much as that. Okay, the highest it has ever been was only $3.25. Now it's $5 across the state, across the country. Before, the gas price was only higher in California because of the taxes, right? But now it's high across the country. So it's very concerning. And the only way for Trump to defend himself is to do two things. One, he can negotiate in Iran and end the war as soon as possible and resume the supply chain and the flow of oil and gas across the world. Or two, he can, three options. Two, he can do electric mandates for start to invest in electricity, battery productions, and make Americans adapt and consume more electric vehicles, which is a good idea actually for the environment. However, when he became a president, he was critical of the electric mandates, so there's no options of critical electric vehicles. In fact, under Joe Biden, there was so much money invested in the electric vehicles, and these companies were actually building up and expanding and growing and competing with China. Now with under Trump, he dropped all electric mandates, and all of a sudden these factories went bankruptcy because they are relying heavily on the subsidies, which I'm not a big fan of subsidies, but whatever, right? I don't really focus much on industrial policy, but sometimes we need industrial policy to combat shocks like what we see in Iran war. Now the third option could be force the Federal Reserve Bank to lower the interest rates so low that people can borrow and consume. That is a good thing for him because he looks better. When interest rate goes down, people borrow money, build jobs, factories, jobs are open up, people are consuming because everybody can just borrow, right? The credit card is lower, right? Things looks great until you realize that when interest rate goes down, people borrow more money, so there's more money circulating in the economy, so the inflation goes up, way up. And when that happened, people are not going to be happy. And guess what? Trump will not blame himself for starting the war. He will blame the Federal Reserve Bank. So people start bombarding the Reserve Bank. All right, that's because it's supposed to be independent. It's supposed to be free from any political influences. Right, that's the beauty of the United States. It's the balance of power. So today I saw that he announced that the Fed will be independent. That's a good thing because the new sworn-in leader of the chair of the Reserve Bank is actually Republican. The previous leader, who's leaving this month, is not leaving. It's going to be on a chair. It's going to be on a committee for the Fed, but it's going to be still on a committee. Jerome Powell, he is eccentric. He's a libertarian. These are the people who don't believe in either Democrats or Republicans. They are not non-partisan, they are bipartisan. So libertarians are like, they see views from both sides. They wanna, they want to please both Democrats and Republicans. Okay, so however, it's really hard to be a so my camera keeps dropping for some reason. I don't know why, but I'm trying my best because it's at night, so I have to mount my camera on the wall and use this thing. It looks like this, the ring, to make me look cooler in the camera. If it was during the day, I would have filmed with no camera. Also, it's been really hot, so this is there is not like a good visibility during the day anyways. But anyways, so that's the idea. You get the point, right? If we allow the government to intervene within the Federal Reserve Bank, it can create a massive problem. So what Trump has been advocating, Trump today came up and said the Fed should be independent. That was good. I think that was very impressive. I think that gives Trump another credit because his rating has been dropping dramatically. Okay, this is scary. Jesus Christ, how do I do this? So I'm gonna have to mount my camera actually because this is getting annoying. You see, when the camera is when the thing is too far, it doesn't come out as much as I want it to be. Let me see what I can do here. This is super annoying, bro. Super annoying. Alright, I should make videos during the day, man. Like, it wasn't raining, it was raining, but it wasn't like super hot. Usually I don't make videos during the day if it's too hot, but today was very warm. I mean, today was very raining all day, even cold. It's like 65 degrees outside. My house is very cold, so I don't know why I did not film earlier. Just being lazy, I guess. So let me see. Hope you can see this. If you cannot, that's fine. But it is what it is. So hopefully I'll make this video. I'm gonna try to be as close as I can possibly be. Here we go. So that's why we is to hope that Trump will not be able to intervene with the Federal Reserve Bank. It's not popular in the news. It just tells you how the news is how the news is so biased, because the new sworn-in leader is a Republican, and many mainstream media, they don't really they don't tend to publish a lot about Republican leaders. Okay, so I made a video about Kevin Walsh. You can check how he did that video. It's on YouTube. Scroll down and look for the topic that says who is Kevin Walsh. You can also watch other videos. I haven't watched much of his biography, but I know that he he's the big fan of the AI, so we might see him advocating for the AI. He is also a big fan of technology because he was a governor when .com boom was coming up, right? He was a governor when .com boom was coming up. So that's a good thing. That's a good thing because if he can handle, if he understand the crisis of 2000s, okay, which was crazy, it's the same thing as today's crisis. In 2000 we had the internet was booming, right? Everybody was building a software, everybody was building something, right? There was misinformations, there was misunderstanding, there was this fear. I mean, if you are younger like me, you don't understand the 2000s fear, right? People are scared of internet. People thought that there was gonna be blood taken away from my DNA. There's gonna be a lot of fear of the, what is it, like very constant fear, right? So people are very hesitant to invest in technology. Many companies went bankrupt at the time. Those that survived, they survived, but some of them were really struggling. Okay, nobody knew what they were doing. Okay, it's the same thing is today, where we have AI boom. Okay, nobody knows, except that today people are adapting the AI. There's a huge layoffs. And like in 2000, if you can write a code, if it's one code, the Hello World, you get a job working as a programmer. Today, there's not those jobs. The jobs are gone, and the AI is automating everything. Okay, so as he comes in, he needs to think about how he's going to help young people get employed, have jobs, buy houses, right? Leaders, misinformation of the AI, at the same time not losing the competition with other countries like China and Germany, right? So the fact that he understands the AI, is a pro AI, it means that he's going to be investing in the new AI. And I think I have a feeling that within the Fed, the chair, because he doesn't work on himself, right? He doesn't have a monopoly. They have what they call the federal market. So they sit down, federal committee, they sit down and they make decisions. They decide, they vote, right? What rates to cut. They vote on what decisions to make, right? So it's not that easy, right? They have their own democratic system that they use, right? That's why they are independent. However, if some of the people on the team don't agree or they don't like the AI and they see the implications of it, there could be an issues on where they try to invest or how they shift the market. Okay. Other than that, I think Kevin Walsh has so much to do. He understands the government, he understands the shift in the economy, he has that conservative views, which is working class. Okay, I feel like Jerome was more of a social guy, where he prioritizes things like income, things like balancing the data, trying to keep the economy moving without having to trigger the recessions, right? Whereby Kevin, I don't know what's going on with my camera. I'm really pissed off right now. I need to stop recording. But anyways, I'm about to finish this video really quick. So whereby the Kevin Walsh, he is more like, what can I say? He's more like income inequality, is more pro investment. So again, I haven't read much of his biography, but I know for a fact that he will be doing an amazing job in the next 4 or 5 years, especially having Donald Trump, of him passing tariffs, him passing, a massive amount of wars in Iran. By having a guy like Kevin Walsh, it could at least create a balance, right? Another implication here is that we all know that in November 2026, Democrats are going to be coming to the Washington, D.C. So they're going to be a majority. So a lot of policies are going to favor the executive branch. That is not a good thing. As we see right now, the majority of the people in the House are Republicans, so they favor the executive branch because the legislature normally serves the executive, and the executive influences the legislature. The legislature makes laws. They also get rid of laws. They also amend the laws. The justice system, or the Supreme Court, all they do is interpret the laws, and when they do interpret the laws, they can favor one branch or the other. So because the majority of the people on the Supreme Court are Republicans, even today the Kevin Walsh was sworn in by a Republican Supreme Court leader, right? On the other hand, if we have majority Democrats, and the most likely we're going to have a majority we're going to have a Democratic president in 2028. That's for sure. I could be wrong, but based on my predictive behavior, we're not going to have a Democratic leader. We need a balance of power. So if we can have a conservative leader in the Fed, conservative leader in the Supreme Court, and then we can have conservative leaders in the House, liberal leaders in the House, and the liberal leaders in the executive, that will balance out. So there will be a push, eventually keeping the government intact. Okay, so we could be heading to the right direction. We could be heading to the right place. Okay, so it's not yet out of the loop, and it's not yet giving up the hope. It's about time. It's a matter of time. So that's just my view. So far so good. I have a positive outlook in the US government. I haven't lost the trust, right? And also over time, I've realized that Trump says something and he says something else. Even like last minute, I was listening to Bloomberg, where one of the lady asked what the implication is about this. How will people see the Fed if under Donald Trump? And one of the economists, the correspondent economist, said that we know Trump says something and he does something else. So we should not be terrified or scared of whatever is going to happen. I'm pretty sure things will be perfect. As I make this video, just know that people who are going to be watching this video are either going to be people who are younger, students about to graduate, because the YouTube uses the AI, so they push these videos to people who are in need, right? So students who are graduating this year, PhD, masters, undergrad, graduate, high school students, dropout, like those people are very unemployed. The numbers are staggering, 15%. And most executives are laying off workers in favor of the AI. Nothing wrong with that. There's no problem. What the Fed needs to do and the government needs to do, so the Fed, the policymakers, this is the branch, the legislature, the executive, this is the president, the justice system, which is the Supreme Court, is figuring out ways of A, regulate the AI, right? And B, the Fed invest the money in human capital, ensure that people can learn the AI, adapt the AI, use it to do more creative, more innovative things. All right. Assist the companies, right? Consulting, okay, assist companies to come up with new ideas on how to utilize human capital alongside the AI to be more productive. We need more productivity. Okay, United States has lowest productivity has ever been before. Okay, people are less productive, and this is why AI is laying off workers left and right. Because if I can use ChatGPT to produce 90% of work, if I can use AI to respond, to send out 500 emails per day, marketing emails per day, that's good, versus spending a month sending out 500 emails, right? So that is an example of how we can use AI to utilize information to do things faster, okay, and quicker, and faster and quicker. Okay, so embed AI in schools, embed AI to teachers, have companies adapt AI, right? So build it to governments, right? And then ensure that the Supreme Court is prioritizing things like safety, privacy. I bought sunglasses. These are known as wearable gadgets, right? I have sunglasses that I use sunglass camera glasses that I use that has cameras on the top, right? So I go to public and I film people. This is a question, this is a policy on its own. How do we regulate such wearable devices? How do you make sure that the James is not filming people somewhere? What if somebody buys glasses and films them in in the bathrooms, or films them in the bed, right? I have ethical, so I can take off my glasses, but somebody could be filming people in the bathrooms, right? It can happen. I can do it. I was reading the other, I think this was yesterday. I was reading about how to tell somebody's filming the public's glasses on. People are like, oh, look at the camera, it's always blinking, it's always showing, and they all point to Meta glasses. My glasses, you can barely know I'm recording, barely know if I'm recording, because the camera is hidden, that's one, and two, it doesn't blink. Even if it's at night, of course I cannot film at night because the video won't be visible, but you can barely tell if I'm recording. You have to be close to me, and you have to be aware of the camera to be able to see it, okay? And even if you do see it, I can easily say I'm not recording. If you look around, you cannot see any blinking. There's no blinking, there's nothing, okay? Barely see, because the blinking is hidden behind the scene, right? So this goes to show that there is a privacy issue that needs to be regulated. How they're gonna do it, I don't know. I have an idea, but I think that YouTube has policies like don't post videos about children, blah blah blah. So again, this is not effective really, because I can film people. I have videos that I film people and then I make them private, so it doesn't go public, right? So anyways, at the same time, it's a good idea to go out there and document your own life. Like personally, I like to take a metro, make videos, drive, take videos, right? That's a good thing for me. And I cannot go to anybody. I cannot just walk to each and every individual and ask for the permission to film, right? It's public places, it's shared places. Again, these questions about the technology, the AI. My glasses have AI in it, but they don't transform information to someone else, right? The Meta have AI built into it, so it takes videos, but also it analyzes the videos and sends the data to the Meta company, and that data is used to train the AI. Either way, it doesn't matter, right? Even if I use my phone, even if I use my GoPro, even if I film with my glasses, at the end of the day, I upload my videos on YouTube, and my YouTube uses my videos to train the AI. So there's no way you can escape this, right? So that being said, that's the end of this video. Thanks for watching. Like always, have a good night. See you tomorrow. Bye bye. Ciao ciao. Don't be scared, you'll be fine. Like always, it's Prosper. Take care. Bye bye.